welcome to our time together for these few minutes as we draw away from the busyness of the day and we find our way back to this present moment. I would invite you just to get comfortable wherever your spot is. And once you get there, just gently allow the eyes to close or just cast the eyes down toward the ground, letting all the distractions go. Before we get in to any of the words or any of the ideas for these few minutes that we have, let's just sit still for a second and just honor the fact that we have planned a time for stillness, for present moment awareness. And when that alarm goes off or that reminder goes off, we have so many choices, but we chose to show up. And so just honor that about yourself. And then begin to just settle in with some nice, slow, calming breaths, just gently filling yourself up from the belly all the way up into your chest, and then just as gently letting the breath go. And I encourage you just to find a good rhythm, a slow filling up of the breath, and then a slow release. And as we settle in for these few minutes that we have before we continue the busyness of the day, in the anticipation of a new day coming tomorrow. For these moments that we have right now, our focus is this yogic path and what all these moral precepts teach us. Yoga is about so much more than just meditation and just physical movement of our body. It truly is about how we think about ourselves, how we think about others, how we think about the connection between the two. And tonight's focus is kind of a part 2 of just the other day, and it's Brahmacharya, which is how we use our energy. And so I would ask you, and I'm going to ask myself as well, just think across today, just these few hours of this day. Where were some places that you noticed that your energy went? And we know our energy is going there because that's where our attention goes. Those two go hand in hand. So just think for just a few seconds. Where were all the places that my energy went today? Some of it in little doses, some of it in really big amounts. But where did it go? And then as you reflect just on just today, just kind of think to yourself of all the places that my energy went. How many of those were my choice? Like I directed my energy there. I chose to feel that and to offer it. And how many of those were things that seemed to be out of your control? It's the ones that we don't feel like we have control over that tend to borrow us a little bit of trouble. Someone comes into our path. There's some kind of an exchange. Maybe we don't like how it makes us feel. And rather than just letting it go and moving on, we give it energy, oftentimes energy that it doesn't deserve, energy that comes from this emotional place. And if we're not careful, sometimes we end up feeling really dysregulated. And so that's an example of our energy going somewhere that feels like it's out of our control. But really and truly, all of it's in our control. We think in the moment something's happening to us, and it causes these responses. But there's this split second within us. We don't even realize sometimes it's even happening. We get to choose whether we give our energy to something or not. Think about in traffic. No one likes sitting in traffic. No one likes being delayed. No one likes inconveniences. But we also know that traffic is out of our control, but how we offer our energy is completely ours to choose. We turn on some good music and we just go with the flow, or we get really frustrated and we grip the steering wheel and we grind our teeth. 2 examples of us choosing how to use our energy. And Brahmacharya is one of these very first moral precepts of yoga. Like it comes before meditation, it comes way before physical movement. Because I think the ancients, when they were creating all of these teachings for us, realized if we don't understand the power to choose how our energy flows from us, how then can we choose how to move our bodies effectively? How to sit and grow quiet in meditation? It has to start with us understanding this energy that's within us. It's all ours to choose. So I'd like for us across these few minutes that we have to look at some habits, some patterns of behavior that oftentimes drain our energy. There's habits that we have, some of us have had for a long time. Some, they come along and all of a sudden they become a pattern. But these are the habits that can oftentimes drain our energy. And then we're going to get to the ones that fill it back up. The first one is that we don't get enough sleep. Y'all, our sleep is one of our pillars of health. And we want to be as productive as we can in the day, but when we don't sleep enough and we don't sleep well, our ability to direct our energy is not as great. We also have a habit of letting too much screen time close to the time that we're going to bed disrupt our sleep patterns in the night. Again, depleting us from energy when the day comes. And then one more example is we overwork ourselves. Some of us, that's in our professional life, it's the actual work that we do that we're paid for. But what it's really talking about is working in a way beyond an amount or beyond a level that's healthy. And it doesn't have to mean a place that you show up and go to work and you receive a paycheck. It could be just anything that you overdo and you do too much. So overworking ourselves, even if it's something that's good in the beginning, will drain us of our energy. And then what happens is when that person comes across our path and the interaction's not good, or that traffic comes and it's frustrating, when our energies are depleted, we tend to choose wrong. So then what do we do to fill the energy back up? The number one thing is meditation. When you show up for meditation, your only goal is the present moment. You are not concerned with the past and you are not anxious about the future. Meditation teaches us it is about this moment. And when all you are focused on is this moment, I promise you, you will have just enough energy for that moment. It's when we start thinking so many steps ahead and we get anxious and we worry that we realize we don't have the right amount of energy that we need. Because we were intended to live in the present moment. Our meditation practice reminds us of that, but most importantly, our meditation practice helps us to create new habits of good and right use of energy. So that the things that you want to do, you have the energy to do them. The relationships that you want to invest in, you have the energy to do that. And then when you have things come across your path that you do not like, or you do not want, or you do not need, the best news is that you have the energy to choose well. To choose to either move away or to set really healthy boundaries, or to just make a conscious choice that you will not engage in whatever those things are. But y'all know, and I know, that when we're tired and our energy has been used in a way that wasn't healthy, we oftentimes choose an answer that's not the right one for us. And maybe even one that is a little bit destructive to our health and to our well-being. So I really think that the ancients, when they created these ideas of this path of yoga, they had it in the right order, teaching us about right use of energy before they teach us all the other things. So in the next few minutes, what I'd like for each of us to do is just recommit. Don't worry about the bad habits that have brought us to this moment. We all have them. Let's think about, what do we do now? Not tomorrow, not next week, just right now. We've chosen to show up in this present moment. And now let's just, over the next couple of minutes, breathe into each moment as it comes. Let that moment connect to the energy that we have to offer. And when we can do that, you'll start to feel that it's just the right amount. You won't feel like you're lacking. You won't feel like you're frenzied and anxious. You will feel like it is just the right amount. And that is one of the most beautiful places to be. So let's just grow quiet and continue to breathe, each of us in our space where we are. And if you need something to keep you focused here in this moment, if your mind tries to wander and take you other places, just think about that Sanskrit word, Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya, the best use of my energy. Brahmacharya. You can use it like a mantra, you can say it again and again, or if the mind just wanders, come right back to it. And just try to match your energy right here to this present moment. Just continue to breathe where you are, slow, steady breaths. Over the last few times we've been together, we've looked at these first 4 moral precepts or moral disciplines that the limbs of yoga give us. The first one was about not harming, not causing harm to ourselves or to others. The second one was about being truthful, knowing who we are and honoring that in how we act and what we do. The third was about non-stealing, not robbing, not so much about not taking things that don't belong to us, but not robbing ourselves of the things that bring us joy, which means not focusing on the things that cause us worry. And it's really amazing how those first 3 about the not harming and the being true to yourself and the not stealing or robbing yourself of moments of joy and goodness fit right into this 4th one of Brahmacharya, using our energy for good. We've all had situations where we feel like we wanted to walk away, we wanted the conversation to end because we felt something being pulled from us that didn't feel healthy. And all of a sudden, we get to the end of it and we think, where did my energy go? And so the one thing I'd like for each of us to take away from this time today is that we have the right to choose. It doesn't mean that we're unkind. It doesn't mean that we're not good friends or that we're not good listeners and we're not compassionate. It means that we want to restore ourselves to the level of energy we need for whatever the next thing is that's coming. We don't give to the point of depletion. We don't work to the point of collapse. We stay in touch with the energy within us and realize the more that we take care of it, ultimately, the more that we have to share. Your meditation practice is the perfect place to start. But it will only work if we take this idea and this concept off our cushion, off our spot where we are, and let it inform the moments to come. The right use of energy, the best use of energy for you and for me. It's how we were meant to live. And once you figure it out and you catch a glimpse of it more often, I promise you it is a really sweet space to be in. You become very protective. And in the midst of that, you become vibrant. That is my wish for you and my wish for me. Namaste.